What kind of mother should never get custody? I showed up to pick up my kids for my ex-wife's supervised visit at the community center on a Tuesday afternoon. My son Jake, who's 8, walked out holding his little sister Emma's hand. She's only 5. Both of them looked at me with these huge, relieved eyes, like they'd been waiting for me to rescue them from something. The supervisor, this older woman named Carol, who'd been monitoring visits for months, pulled me aside in the hallway. She said everything went fine during the visit, totally normal. They played board games, had some snacks, colored pictures, but she mentioned Jake seemed really quiet the whole time, wouldn't really engage with his mom much, just gave one-word answers and kept checking the clock. On the drive home, Jake sat in the back seat staring out the window while Emma hummed to herself and played with her stuffed rabbit. I tried making conversation, asking about the games they played, if they had fun. Jake just nodded without looking at me. The silence felt heavy, like he was carrying something he didn't know how to say. We were almost home when he finally spoke up. "Dad, why does Mom's apartment smell weird?" I glanced at him in the rearview mirror. I figured he meant cleaning products or maybe she got a new air freshener. "What kind of weird, buddy?" He scrunched up his nose, trying to describe it. He said it smelled like the science lab at school when they opened the frog tank last month. Sweet, but also bad, like chemicals mixed with something rotten. My stomach dropped. That's a very specific smell for an 8-year-old to describe. I kept my voice calm and asked when he noticed it. He said when Mom took them to her apartment for lunch. Wait, what? The visits were supposed to stay at the community center the entire time. That was the whole point of supervised visitation. Jake said Mom told Carol she was just taking them to the bathroom down the hall, but instead she walked them out to her car and drove them to her place. They were there for like 2 hours. She made them sandwiches in her kitchen and told them it was their secret. She said if they told me, I'd get mad and they wouldn't be able to see her anymore. I pulled over into a parking lot because my hands were shaking. I asked Jake if Mom did anything else, if anything happened that made him uncomfortable. He said no, just the smell was really strong and made his head hurt. Emma had fallen asleep in the back seat, completely unaware of the conversation. I called my lawyer the second I got the kids home and settled. She answered on the second ring, and I explained everything Jake told me. She went silent for a moment, then said this was a serious violation of the court order. Supervised visits meant supervised. No exceptions, no leaving the designated location. She said she'd contact Carol immediately to confirm. 20 minutes later, my lawyer called back. Carol had just admitted that my ex told her she was taking the kids to the restroom, then never came back for over 2 hours. Carol tried calling her phone repeatedly with no answer. When they finally returned, my ex claimed there was a long line, and then Emma had an accident, so they had to clean up. Carol believed her because she seemed flustered and apologetic. My lawyer said this was enough for an emergency motion. She filed it that same night, requesting immediate suspension of visitation rights and a welfare check at my ex's apartment. The hearing happened 3 days later. The judge listened to Carol's testimony about the unauthorized departure, read Jake's statement that I'd written down word for word, and ordered police to conduct a welfare check at my ex's address immediately. My ex sat there looking smug, like this was all a big misunderstanding and everyone was overreacting. Her lawyer argued that she just wanted private time with her kids, and the smell was probably just cleaning supplies. The judge wasn't buying it. 2 days later, I got a call from CPS while I was at work. The caseworker's voice was tight and professional. She said they'd executed the welfare check at my ex's apartment that morning with police present. They'd found my ex running an unlicensed home tattoo business out of her kitchen. Unsterilized needles scattered across the counter. No proper sanitation equipment. Bottles of formaldehyde-based ink she was mixing herself in old soda bottles. Blood stains on the same counter where my kids had eaten their sandwiches, right next to the cutting board. The judge terminated her visitation rights that same week.